Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Just Sean Armstrong here, and I do know that I'm wearing my dressing gown. Please don't let that put you off or anything. It usually does take me a while to get dressed in the morning. I want to discuss something that's very close to my heart at the moment, a subject that I feel as though I've neglected on for some time now, and that is disability. For those of you that follow me, or those of you that do not follow me, I am disabled. I have mild cerebral palsy plus autism. I was diagnosed with that back in December 2023. And as well as that, I have dyscalculia, which I'm going to admit, it's been absolutely hard, been absolutely difficult sometimes. I have all three issues in me rolled into one. However, I don't let anything bother me. In fact, one thing that I do with my disability and the autism, as well as the dyscalculia, is I let them push me, motivate me into doing more than what I can do. I'm going to admit it's been difficult for me to, focus on certain tasks, like with, numbers, for example. However, with a calculator, I'm absolutely fine. The autism has made socialising quite difficult. I am able to socialise with people, but like with most things, I tend to be a bit picky choosy who I associate myself with. That's just me. I can't help that. We're all a bit the same, aren't we? We're all a bit similar in that regard. With a cerebral palsy, it means, that things have become a bit difficult for me in terms of walking, fine and gross motor control writing. I'm absolutely fine on a keyboard. Absolutely love that. These things, however, are not a crutch. I do not use them as a crutch, and I never will use them as a crutch. Because they're me. I don't want people to feel sorry for me or empathy. I want people to understand me the way that I am, my mentality. And I've got a good mentality. I've got a good work ethic. The thing that annoys me, though, is most employers will not employ disabled people. My last job, where I was working, was an organisation by the name of the Community Recycling Consortium in Fenton, in Stoke-on-Trent. There I experienced bullying like I've never experienced bullying. I was working there as a quote-unquote administrator. admin apprenticeship. Admin, there was no admin involved. Basically, what they were doing was they were using me to phone up businesses, ask whether or not they had any IT or electrical equipment that they no longer needed, that they would be willing to donate. I could do that in my sleep. I'm good on the phone. I'm good at talking with people. It's manners at the end of the day. But one of the directors, and I thought that this was disgusting, one of the directors used to put up signs, posters, on my desk telling me how I should speak to people on the phone. Now, I worked at 3 call centres prior to this, and not one single member of staff, nor the managers, ever said to me that my telephone manner was badly lacking. Now, anyway, cut a long story short, it was supposed to be an admin apprenticeship, but it wasn't, like I just said prior. On top of that, I would be bullied, mocked for my dyscalculia by this director and another one. I'm not going to mention any names for legal reasons, but they would mock me for it, calling me thick, calling me retarded. Now, apart from that, I was getting £199 a week, which basically is peanuts, any. Because of the stress due to the bullying, due to the discrimination, I took a few days off sick. I didn't want to, but I had to. When I got back, all I got in terms of, wages that week was 25 quid, which was absolutely bloody appalling. I decided to leave. Now, I was underemployed at the time, the training provider, not the, employer. And I did have a word with my advisor about it. He dismissed it. In fact, he said to me that it was a good wage. And that he thought that, I was at a good place. I gave him an ultimatum. I said to him that he either removed me from there and find me somewhere else, or I would leave. He threatened to rattle me to the job centre. Anyway, cut a long story short, I ended up leaving because the main manager at the time said that I was lying about the position, when in fact he was lying. My response to that is I got up from my desk and I walked out, not before I said something expletive to him. I know that it's low to swear at people, but sometimes you can't help yourself. Sometimes you have to. I left. Recently, I looked on the internet and I found out that they are no longer trading. However, they have set up a new business under a new name, A friend of mine, again, not mentioning any names, has recently told me that that particular manager has been done for fraud, he's been done for bullying, he's been done for sex crimes, harassment, you name it. But one thing I do not understand is how the hell hasn't he been charged with all of these offences? Which is the reason, after my experience of working at that place, I no longer want to work for anyone else. In fact, I'd rather do it myself. Recently, for all of those who didn't know me, I am a writer, I'm a photographer. Recently, I've been doing 2 photo shoots, as well as the Green Girl, completing the last manuscript for my Green Girl series. I'm looking for agent representation still. And I'm also looking for, work in photography as well as that. It disgusts me with what the government are proposing to do with disabled people's welfare. Because at the end of the day, it's discrimination. There are no jobs out there for disabled people. When a disabled people is employed, they are likely to experience bullying, like I was. I will never work for anyone else again. The only people that I am willing to work for, and this is the God's honest truth, are people who I know, people who I trust. Which brings me to something. A friend of mine who I've known for 10 years plus, he owns a band, and currently, at the moment, he's trying to get me to work for him as a photographer, as a writer. Not only that, but he is also trying to find work for a model who I've worked with, who, by the way, is an absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely girl. I like her. But I will never, never, never work for anyone else again. That because of my experiences, I do not trust employers. I do not trust anyone in a high authority or who claims to have a high authority on me. People like that have no respect for other people. But the way that I see things is, it's clear to me now, what I need to do. And what I am tending to do with myself is I'm intending to do what I'm doing, pushing myself forward always, looking forward, not back. Anyway, thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel.